All right, good morning, y'all. Welcome to Coffee and Craps with John here. Pro Craps on Casino Gaming TV. Again, starting off our morning here with the YOLO session. A real quick one roll to see if we can win it all here. So what I've got, I think we've won like 7 or 8 times in a row, which is good. The other thing is interesting. I'm out of yellow chips. Had no banana chips before. I bought new chips and now I've got a bunch of them, but we're using them all up. So what I've done is I've made my 2 PC lammers here. These here represent the initial 20,000 that we bought in for. So these are 10,000 each. Just in the racks, you can see that we have that. We haven't yet lost our profits and dipped down into our initial stack. So they're just there as a representation of where we started. What I've got here in profits to this point is, as you can see on screen, 17,000 and change up here. So I'm not going to put the whole thing out there today. We're going to go with about 12,000 across or so. We're going to go 2,000 on each. Of course, 20, 100, 6, and 8 today. And we'll burn most of, but not all of our profit. We'll leave ourselves a little bit of wiggle room should we go south here. So let's get that on. We're going to go, again, 2,000 per slot here. And we'll take this. We'll get some blacks. And we'll go 2,400 on the 6 and 8 with 2 change. And let's see if we can't get that one shot. The one shot, again, we're just walking up to our table. We're just going to barge our way in and let it roll here and see what happens. So I'm just going to run back here to the throwing station, randomly just grab the dice, huck them down and see if we can do it. There is a 4-1-5. So we did it again today. We are skating on it over here, aren't we? 4-1-5, 2,000 feels like it's going to win, I don't know, about $2,800. I will happily take $2,800 back to the ranch and call today's YOLO session huge success. So let's go ahead and color up here. Make those look like a yellow again. Bring it all back to the rack. And we will fight again tomorrow. Another YOLO session in the books. Good way to wake up. Good way to start the week there. Nice little win. So, boy, this is it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's ridiculous. And it's fun. And skill and luck, who wants to see a big red? We all want to see a big red. Honest to God, I started this whole YOLO thing as a joke because somebody gave me a bunch of grief, right? And said, if you're a pro craps and you're a great thrower, why don't you go to the casino every day and throw once and leave, right? And I would never play that way. You shouldn't play this way. But it's fun. It's a way to warm up in the morning and get, kind of something in the books here for us. And frankly, if it loses, it's good, right? You should never play this way. And if this thing ends up, and I will throw a 7 here at some point and lose all of our profit. It goes to show that you can't, this is not a way to play, but it's fun in the meantime. And here we go. So good morning, everybody. Let's jump into our announcements here. And I didn't actually change the announcement screens. This is actually Friday's announcements. We had a interesting weekend here at our house. I'll tell you in a minute about that. But it's important to talk about these things, right? Again, watch the CEG video, the downtown Grand thing. It's kind of crazy. And JR said it, I think, in Friday's chat, and it bears repeating. I'm not sure we said it in Friday's chat. We said it on Craps chat last night about this. But, we do, and I've said this too, we had the power, right? There's a bunch of us here. You don't have to play at places where you don't feel welcome. And there's no reason, if you don't want to play at the $25 level, to play at the higher tables either. Right, you can take your money elsewhere. And the Downtown Grand, the way that they treated Casino Quest, who are huge, huge supporters of the town, number 1, the smaller casinos, number 2, and the craps community, number 3, they don't need to have our business. That's just the way that works out. So that's a choice that they'd made, and they can sleep in that bed, I suppose. Friday Night Fights was fun. Buckeye Slim and Jeff went out and played. And the interesting thing was, after it was all over with, Buckeye was like, that's the most fun I've ever had playing craps. And it's true. These it looks weird. I know that we're burning through a bunch of crazy rules and how do we do it, and there's lots of foibles with the dealing, and me not being able to see the box last week because of the choppiness, and it is what it is, right? We're all amateurs here, amateur filmmakers, amateur dealers, and amateur live streamers, right? We're all just figuring this shit out, but that's super fun. Those tournaments are fun as hell to get into, and Buckeye learned a lesson. Buckeye learned that tournament is not all in, right? I lost my first 3 or 4 tournaments in the first round because I was too aggressive. thinking that I've only got 30 rolls, I got to go all in, and you don't have to go all in. There's a rhythm to these tournaments, and especially in ours where there's a 3-round thing where you've got, round 1, and then you have that restart round 2, and round 3, knowing you've got a combined bankroll, you got to take that into account, right? When you're in round 1, you want to win it, of course, right? But you don't want to go too crazy with it, because then you have nothing left for that round 3, and round 3 then becomes for you got to push all in, and you can't win that way in these tournaments. You got to pick your battles here, and I think that the 3 rounds we've chosen for this thing work really well for the format. And so Buckeye learned that. You'll all learn it as you play it. Like, your instinct is probably 50% right and 50% you got to hold back. And Jeff did a great job of hanging back, just letting Buckeye bankrupt himself. Basically, it was Jeff's strategy, was to kind of let Buckeye do his thing, which was good. It was fun to watch that all happen. So we're going to start signups this week. I'm writing an app in my off time this week to do the signups and the queue, and kind of a board so you can see where everybody stands. I'll have that written this week, and we'll probably allow for signups and the queuing to start hopefully by midweek, end of week, depends on how much time I can devote to it, but I'd like to get that done. I'll try for it this week if I can. I'm also, by the way, writing, and I'll need some beta testers for this, I'm writing an app for the Color Up DiceCon, which I think will survive DiceCon, which is basically going to be an app where it'll have all the casinos in Vegas listed on it, and you'll be able to kind of log in and say, yes, I am, I'm looking at here, I am Midmo-Yo, and I am at the Circa. And, On Point can say, I'm Mike, and I'm at Circa. And that way you can look at it, somebody else can look at it and say, okay, where's everybody at? And you can look at all the casinos and see the icons of who's at each casino. So you know where folks are, number one. And then you can also find a single person, and maybe we'll have some casino like status reports, like, Midmo-Yo, Ciro's at the whatever Circa, and the tables are 25. And then we'll just kind of know where people are if you want to play with a group, and then what the minimums are where you're going. Just kind of a helper app, because when you have like 60 people to keep track of, it's very hard. So I'm writing that, and we'll have, hopefully I'll be ready for that by next week, and we can do some beta testing with it. And if it survives DiceCon, then it becomes the kind of an app where you can just use it all the time, just any given day around the country where is somebody playing. So that's the idea there. So I'll have updates on that as we get going soon here. Craps Chat last night, I missed it. I was in there for about 10 minutes. We were between family events. My son came home for the weekend, which was cool. We don't get to see Zach very often, so he was home for the weekend. And we had a nice family Easter. We actually celebrate Easter for reals next weekend. Next weekend is Orthodox Easter when we go after it. But it's nice, when you're raised Greek Orthodox, you get to celebrate it kind of twice, because you have one weekend where the whole world's celebrating it. And to me, that's kind of a good, Easter Bunny reflection, what's happening, why do we celebrate Easter kind of a weekend. And then there's a more deeper Orthodox celebration of it the week before or after, depending on when it falls. So that's gonna be us next weekend. All right, get joined up. By the way, your reminder, jump on Casino Gaming TV. We have like 80 people in the Discord, which is great. We don't have 80 people chatting, so you're all there, but we're not actually interacting yet. Get in there and get interactive. It's pretty cool. So let's do that. All right, let's see what else we want to talk about today. My next thing is going to be talking about exposure. So, mea culpa here. Over the weekend, and it's happened to me a couple times, not really to me, but happened with me. I got into a little bit with somebody over the comments, and I got a billion videos out there now, so it's hard for you to find the argument that I had. And I wouldn't say it's an argument, but it's more of a clash of wills kind of a thing. And it got a little bit heated, and it shouldn't get heated, because I don't really have a dog in the fight here, right? We know this. There's always the pass line with odds versus the place bet holy war that seems to happen for whatever reason. And I get involved in this a lot because I teach and I show more line bet or more box betting, because strategies are fun and it helps you think through the game. And I enjoy the algorithmic part of let's think through a strategy and find a better way to take advantage of what's random. I think it's fun. It's not always the most profitable, but boy, some people just get their heels dug in, and I'm like, you got to just breathe a little bit. You know what I mean? We're in this world where and Greg has said this too on his channel. It's like, my God, you can't say anything to anybody anymore. And people are they're right, man. That's it. This is the way that the world works, and you're asshole if you don't agree with me, and that's the way it is. And you can't have any kind of conversation. Well, I'm a little tired of that, so I let this guy have it, probably unfairly so. And so unfairly so that I'm going to come here this morning and we're going to talk about these 3 ways of playing. Now, there's only 2 ways listed here, but I'll explain what I want to show. And it's better to explain at the table. And when I go to the table today, by the way, there's a new view for you to see. I got to turn it. I have a new camera that I'm going to turn on, which you'll see. Some of you who might have saw the new table view over the weekend, but I've added a thing to it. But I want to talk about and show you this kind of mindset of pass line with max odds versus place bets. And it's not just a 1-for-1. What I want to do is really take a look at, from the same exposure point, from the same financial exposure, I want to see what these 2 things look like side by side. And I've done something similar before, right? I've done kind of a come bets plus place bets video where I say, hey, they both work. They both should be in your toolbox. You should know the goal of the players playing these things so that A, you can make adjustments to your own game, or B, understand what somebody else is trying to do. And I want to really talk through, because I've gone back and I reread all the comments and I reread the emails that I've exchanged with folks about these 2 systems back to back. And again, there's a lot of dogmatism here, right? People are just got their heels dug in on one way is the only way to do this. And if you're a line better, you're a freaking idiot because you can't pick your number. And if you're a place better, you're a freaking idiot because you're giving up the house edge. You're both right. You're both right. You're idiots on all sides. We're playing a game that we're guaranteed to lose on, so we're all, I guess, morons. But let's look at the table, and I want to go through what these plays look like. And I put this screen up here just to remind you of the house edge on the bets, right? The pass line by itself, everybody says the flat pass line bet sucks, right? You do a $5 pass line, it goes to the 6, you get paid 1-for-1. That's awful. It's worse than the placing the 6. True, that payment is. But that bet in its entirety, if you incorporate and think about and don't dismiss the pass line part of it, the come out part of it, that bet in its entirety has a lower house edge than just placing the 6 and 8, right? Not by a lot. It's a 11-cent difference, right? It's 0.11% difference, okay? Not a lot of difference there, but there's a difference there. It's still a better bet. When you throw odds on it, it increases your house edge. But I have a caveat to that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I want you to see your place bet, your place bet house edges, which are big. The 6 and 8 are almost on par with the pass line, don't pass line. The 5 and 9, 4%, brutal. 4 and 10, 6.67%, really brutal unless you buy it, which can bring it back down to earth a little bit. But let's look at what these all look like together on the table. I'm going to switch my view here. And I'm going to add in, hopefully, that other camera here. I didn't turn it on before I got up, so let's turn it on. There we go. It should flick on here in a minute, hopefully. Let's see if we can't make it work. Camera, nope, not yet. It's not fired up yet. Come on, you. While that's coming on, I'm going to move my chips out here, and we'll take a look at the 3 different playing styles. And give me a minute here. I've got to line them up with the words you see on screen. Set this up, of course, last night ahead of getting the YOLO set. So this is going to be these 2 bankrolls here are going to be, well, can you see that? I guess you can see that, right? And this guy here will be, of course, down here. I think I want to do this direction. And coming from here, let's set it up like this and see if that lines them up a little bit better. I think we're close. That better? No. Let's see, we got them lined up. There's that. And then there's that one. Close enough. Good enough for government work, as they say, right? There we go. We'll put that one down there. And those 2 right there. All right, that's good. That's good and lined up. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to play, and there you can see now my camera at the end here, the little square at the right side. If you're on your phone, you'll never be able to see this, okay? You'll never be able to see it. If you're on your computer or you watch it later, you'll see that right there, this is my landing zone right here. So you can see the dice while I zoom in on the table. I think the most important thing here is the betting, not the dice throwing. I'm not trying to be a controller, and I'm not trying to screw anybody off with the calling a wrong dice, but people will still complain that we're trying to cheat because you can't see the dice in the corner down here. So I put the dice cam up here so you can see the dice cam as they land. Again, I know on a phone it's going to be not very clear, but it's the proof that I'm rolling when I say I'm rolling when I roll. So what I want to do is I want to explore the way that these three people will bet. All right. And the goals of their systems. And I think that's important to understand the goals and the real differences between, I gotta get this thing not quite lined up right this way here. That's better. That's a little bit better. I gotta move this out. Sorry, I want to make sure this is lined up good for you. There we go. So the pass line with odds person is typically going to do something like this. You're going to have a $10 pass line. Okay, and that's the pass line with odds person right there. $10 pass line, and when the number hits or gets set, let's say we set a point of, I don't know, 9. Doesn't really matter what the point is. They're going to drop max odds behind it. They're going to drop $50 behind it. Okay, and at this point, their exposure level is what it is. Now they can't drop 50. They'll drop 40. This person. That's the most they can do. 3, 4, 5 table. They'll drop $40 back here, and 40 to win 60 plus 10 means they're going to win $70. Now that's great. There's $50 in exposure. To me, that's no different than this. Dropping $50 on the 9. There's no difference exposure-wise. There's no difference from a win percentage-wise, from a payout perspective. They're both going to pay the exact same. 50 pays 70 here, 50 pays 70 there. There's no difference. The difference is that this person has got the advantage here while the puck's off. They have a $10 advantage, 2-to-1 advantage when the puck's off, and then they're here. These two players here, potentially, their potential win is the same. Their potential loss is the same. There's no real difference between waiting for the number to get set and setting one yourself versus this guy once they're past the come out rail. Now there's a 2-to-1 advantage, but there's also a little bit of risk in there on the come out. So this person does have to fight a little bit here, okay? But they're the folks who play this way versus the folks who play, and I'll put my across person out now, versus the person who plays now here. Let's keep it the same. There's about there's $50 out there. So this person, let's have them play close to that, as close as we can. We'll go not including the point. We'll do 50, 54. Okay. So 54, maybe they'll grab the 9 and not the 4 or something, right? Maybe we'll do that. So 54 versus 50. If you look at exposure, it's about the same. The person who's betting across has the same dollar amount out here as this person does. The difference we talked about last week was this person has one number. They're a singular target. This guy here has got at least 5 targets, potentially 6 targets. If he takes a hit, he may expand out and grab a 6th target. Okay. The real difference is the payouts, right? Here, although you have one target, you're going to win $70 when that thing rolls out, which is kind of a home run. You're going for a home run almost every single at bat. You're swinging for the fence every time. Whereas up in here, PJ called it last week. He said you're picking up nickels in front of a steamroller, which is true. The steamroller is the 7. It's coming. There's no stopping it. We know it's on the way. And you're picking up, on all these, you're picking up $14, nickels in front of a steamroller. It takes at least 3 hits to get even on this kind of a thing, which is, if in those 3 hits, the point happens to roll, from a financial standpoint, you're way behind. However, the player doing this, their mindset is not hitting a home run. It is. Eventually, their mindset is to hit some singles, right? To use a baseball analogy, get the bases loaded, get money out here, and in a longer roll, be able to capitalize more on a longer roll. This person is 100% playing for the most part. Most of you are playing this way, the long game way, right? If you're going to experience the same amount of exposure as that person does right there in terms of financials, you're looking to play this the long game. We're looking to say, and our discussions are always, how do you press? It's never how much money you're going to pull back and be happy with, right? There's nothing wrong with a $14 8 and pulling it all down and having a profit. We talked about that last week, right? $54 out here, a $14 win is about 23% or so, quick math in my head, profit on that shooter. That's good. It's a good result if you're going to pull it down, which we're not going to pull it down. So again, it's long-term vision, load them up, and let this long roll happen, which is where, again, I've made more money doing that than I have doing this. However, that's a one-shot, $70 or whatever the thing is every single time. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to play this out a couple of ways, right? And the way that we're going to do it is this. I'm going to have one player in the front. This guy here, he's going to do what we just said. We're going to go pass line with max odds 3, 4, 5 table assumed. Okay. The player here in the middle, right? I've got the player in the middle set up to be place a number. Place a number. We're going to place the 6. He's going to place the 6 for $60. That's it. We're going to pick our number. The whole point of place betting versus come betting or versus pass lines, you can pick your number. We're picking our number. We're going to pick a 6. That's it. These two, this player here and this player here, the pick a number and the place bet guy, are both have one target. One target. The pass line guy, their target is whatever the dice say the target is. They're playing the pass line. The other person is picking their target. They're picking the 6. They're picking the best target. That's what they're going to do. And the person in the back is going to go all the way across, and we're going to do a 3 hits, 3 presses, and a collect. We're just going to go press, 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 and get out of here, and rinse and repeat, trying for 3 rolls, right, to get ourselves in profit. Potentially, we'll see how it goes. We might even stay out there. We'll see how this person wants to play it. But the idea here is the across better is looking for a longer roll to profit on versus the other two. This guy's only going to go out on the pass line. This guy here, he's going to take his 1 hit on the 6 if he can get it per shooter. When the new point gets established, we'll go out again. He's going to pull it down. He's going to go 1 hit and down. He's going to roll. Now, the decision we have to make here is, does this player work his bet? Okay. I think this player works his bet. I think he's going to be working the whole time because, again, the pass line player has this advantage of, winning on the pass line. What's going to happen is this guy here is going to win enough times on the come out to offset not winning on the come out. When the 7 or 11 shows up, he'll lose on the come out enough to offset this guy over here. They should about cancel out if we're just going to roll them out there live. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to have this guy here in the middle. He's going to play a $60 6, and that's going to be his entire bet. Man in the middle. Man in the back, right? We'll run his bets here across the back. We're going to go across for the same amount of exposure that the pass line player has. He's going to be a $10 pass line. Whatever the point becomes, he's going to go max odds. This guy's going to match him as close as we can, dollar for dollar, across. It may end up he's going to bet only on the inside. We'll see, and you'll see what I mean by that as we go. Let's just roll it out, and we'll see what happens. And again, I'll try and keep the dice nice and slow so that they stay down here in landing zone if I can do it. They will bounce back on me, as you know, but for the most part, let's keep ourselves zoomed in on the bets, and the dice will do what they do. Here we're gonna come out now and just see what happens. And again, I don't view this as a this versus that kind of a thing. I view this as a how does the rhythm work kind of a thing. So there's a 4-1-5 for our first point of 4-1-5. So this guy wins nothing. The player in the back there is going to do his $40 in odds, which is the most that he can do. So he's got 40 and 10, $50 in exposure. So the guy that's playing the back side, we're going to go about $50, which means we have 2 choices. We can go 54 across, or we can go 44 inside and call that the way he's going to do it. A little bit less exposure, but he's going to lose some targets. And again, the whole point here is to get targets. I'm going to go ahead and drop 50. We'll drop 55 and we'll go 54 across. We'll just not grab the point, or we'll not grab the 4 or something. We'll just pick a random. It doesn't matter which one we decide to not grab, but let's not grab something. Let's get white for that. And we'll get him set up here. We'll put him across the back. There's 10, 10, 10. We'll get him on there. We'll put him on the 4. Let's put him on the 5. Let's give him the 5. So I got 54 across for that player. He's not on the 4. We can maybe grab the 4. What we're going to do here, if we can get 3 hits back here, we're going to press the inside, press the mids, press the outsides, and then wind it down if we can. Okay. This guy here is going to take 1 hit and come back to his rack. He's going to be done in 1 hit for that session. We'll call a session a point. If we decide to come back out for the next point, we'll have that conversation. Here we go. Let's just roll it through and see if just the difference in exposure. Again, home run hitter. This is a home run hitter who didn't get to pick the pitch. This is a home run hitter hitting off a tee. Think of it that way if you're looking at baseball. This guy here is just trying to get a bunch of singles. We'll see what happens. Okay. There's a 5-4-9. So the only player who gets paid on a 9 is going to be the player who's playing across. He's going to get paid $14. What we're going to do is press the insides. We're going to take 12 of that money. We're going to press the inside numbers. So his 6 and 8 are now pressed up. He will take a couple of bucks back to his rack. Where's my dice? Here we are. And again, we're just looking at the rhythm of these guys. There's a 5-2-7. So everybody gets beat the same, right? On a 7 where nobody gets paid, everybody gets whacked the same. There was no advantage anywhere. These two at 60 and at 50 get whacked for a little bit more than they have crossed better, but that's not for any reason other than the amount that I chose to bet. To me, it's an even wash. They all got beat the same. The way I look at that. So I'm not going to indict any one versus the other. It's just that the 7 came before anybody got any money. This player here had the opportunity to take money and chose not to. Here we go again. We're going to come out, pass line. We're going to come out here again with 60 on the 6. And that's it. And again, I realize that the $60 6 is more at risk than this player has, but it's the point. The point is we're going to hit off a tee here, pick our number, and have the maximum potential gain. There's another 4-1-5. I didn't change the point last time, but we're back on a point of 5. There's going to be a $40 in odds back there. And again, our player back here is going to go the same exact thing as last time. We're going to go 54 across. Just give me a second to get that set up. We'll do the 5, not the 4. There's his 54 with his, actually I gave him too much change last time. He gets 1 penny in change. And here we go. Can we roll a couple of numbers here and see somebody get paid? They're all on different numbers, right? There's a 6-5 yo. This guy wants the 6. This guy wants the 5. This guy doesn't care what it is, as long as it isn't a horn number, which is what he gets, a horn number. We're, again, trying to get something happening before the 7. And there's the point of 5. Beautiful. So, player in the 6 gets nada. The player here is going to get paid $14 on his place bet. And again, he's going to press up the 6 and the 8 by 1 unit each. Get his change. Player in the front who hits this point, right? The pass line player with odds gets the point hit, which is fantastic, right? His 40 pays 60 in the back, and he gets paid his 10 on the line. So that's a nice win. That's the home run. He got whacked once. He gets a home run once. And what happens here in these pass line plays is that you end up recouping your losses a hell of a lot faster. And that's kind of the big, I don't want to say the big selling point to it, but when you talk to folks who play this way, that's what they say. You're going to get beat. You're going to get beat down here. You can't not beat the 7. But when you do hit it, you hit it pretty good, and it makes up for your losses and then some. And again, you could now go to 15. If it was me playing it, I would go up a unit here. And then my next odds play can be higher. I can do 4 times 15 instead of 4 times 10. So my next odds play here could be at 60 instead of at 40. And that's kind of the idea here. You press up a little bit. We're not going to progress that person's bets. We're just going to go and rhythm, and that's going to be it. So here we go. This player, by the way, is still pressed up. We haven't seen a 7 yet. He's off with the puck. This guy here is on all the time. He's working every single roll. Player in the back is not going to do it. And there's your 6-1-7. So what happens, right? This guy here makes that on all the time decision, but he gets beat for the second time. It hasn't seen one thing happen yet. In the front, there's your house edge. There's your house edge, right? You win on the come out 7. That makes this bet better than that bet potentially. Okay, we'll take that win back to the rack. This guy here, undeterred, is going to try and get that 6 to pay off for himself, right? Here we go, coming out again. 5-2-7. Wow, awesome, John. Good rolling on this Monday. There's another win in the front. And again, that bet becomes better and better all the time. I look to say, and I do it on the don't pass too, when I win on a craps number here, that's a free bet now. This bet is free. When the number gets set, the odds, because they pay low house edge, also free. It's actually a pretty good play here. This poor guy here, though, is getting murdered, which, you know, happens. Let's do it. Let's come out to a clean number this time, shall we? 325. Boy, I'm hitting that 5, aren't I? 325. 325 is the number. Once again, on a point of 5. No changes here. No changes here. And we're going to go to 40 bucks behind the line. There we go. Now, let's talk about house edge while we're doing this. Yeah, best house edge right here, right? I lowered the house edge of this bet, if you remember the last screen, down below 1%. By doing this, we have lowered the house edge to almost nothing. It doesn't change the winnability of the bet, right? The house edge here, 1.41. The house edge here, 0.03. Okay, I've lowered the house edge, but I have not changed the fact that this bet still has a 40% chance of losing. Right, we're only going to win, or I'm sorry, 60% chance of losing this bet. That doesn't change. Putting odds back here lowers the house edge, but it does not change the win probability of the bet. And I think that's the thing that we should all remember if you're a proponent of betting this way. And I say this all the time. The fact that the house edge is low, fine. Doesn't change the fact that bet still isn't a great bet, right? You're adding money to a bet you're more likely to lose. You're likely to lose this bet because it's a 5 against a 7, and you've added more money to a losing proposition. That's where I get that it lowers the edge, but it doesn't change the fact that that's a hard bet to come out and win. There's a 6-4-10. So our player on the end here is going to make a little bit of money on that, which is great. That's going to pay him 18 bucks. We can actually we'll do 20 for 2 is how we'll do it. We'll give 20 bucks for 2 out of his rack. We're going to press up the 5 and the 9 to $20 each. So we've pressed the 6 and 8. We've pressed the 5 and 9. He's looking for another hit and maybe regress, maybe get out. He hasn't really done anything. He's the even Steven guy in the rack to this point. The other guy here are doing great. Our pass line player, awesome, gets another hit. He's going to get paid 70 bucks again. He's going to get paid 50, 60 in the back, 10 in the front. This guy here on that point is going to get paid $28. There's 20. I'll do it in nickels so you can see it. There's 28 bucks. He's going to go ahead and make the 10 look like a quarter, or like the 10, 15, make the 4 look like 15, or rack 3. He's pressed up. His next one is bringing down. He's coming down on the next hit if he can get one. The puck's off. He'll be off. Our pass line guy is crushing it. He's doing really, really well. We've hit 2 points, which is good. Obviously, you want to hit your points. Leave him down the pass line, and he's racking up. Racking up. Guy over here has not hit a 6 or 8 yet. Right? Best bet in the house. He's hitting off a tee. Hitting off a tee, hasn't seen one dime come back to his rack. In fact, he's lost twice. 3 times. He's lost 3 times. There's another one, 6-1-7. This poor guy is working everything and has not hit a thing. So hitting off a tee, it's like first day of T-ball, I guess. He can't hit nothing. Let's get him back out there, though. Make sure I'm pulling money from the right rack. Sorry about that. He's going to be here. He has burned about half his bankroll trying to get one freaking hit, and he cannot get it. Oh, I didn't pay the pass line guy. Pass line guy gets paid again. Come out 7. Rocking it. There's a hard 10. Hopefully you can see that on both cams. Between the cameras, you can see all the dice. So there's a hard 10, a 5-5, hard 10. That'll be our point over here. And again, this guy here just needs one more hit, and he'll be done. There's a 6. Finally, we got a 6. All right, good. So the 6 happens. Oh, I didn't put his odds down. He can put 30 bucks at odds. 3, 4, 5 table, $10. Gets him 30 back there. Now, this guy is going to finally get paid. He's going to get paid 70 bucks. And again, per his strategy, he's done. 70 bucks, he's out for the shooter. That's going to be his way of playing. It's going to be pretty passive. It's a good win. It's not full recovery, but it's getting him back to health at least, right? This guy back here with the $18 6, he'll get paid 21 bucks. And mission accomplished. It took this person back here 3 shooters to get through 3 hits and down, if you can believe that, right? Now he's got a choice to make. How much money does he want to keep out here for the long shooter? And again, this is the trials and tribulations of an across bettor. We're looking to hit, set ourselves up for the long roll. Could this be the long roll? I don't know. But let's go down to 64 across and find out. Let's take this money back. We're going to go to 64 across. Okay? And let's see what we're pulling back to the rack. He started out with the 54 across bet. What he's pulled back to his rack is 55, 60, 65. He's got $68 coming back. He's got a little bit of profit. This guy has shown a profit, and he's playing for free. Essentially, this is what we say. When you're looking for this kind of play, you're like, hey, I'm playing for free now. I'm playing on house money. It took me 3 shooters to get to house money, but I'm playing on house money back here. This guy in front, because I rolled hot, has hit a couple of points and is already on. He was on house money before that even happened. This guy here, done. He got his 1 hit. He's playing it like a pass line bettor. 1 hit, and he's out till the next come out roll. He's going to restart after the next come out roll. Nice and passive. And there's a 4-2-6, which he would have been paid on. But again, his strategy is to play it like this guy. We're going to get one number at a high level per shooter. Or per point. That's all he's doing. 1 number at a time per the point. Okay. In here, that'll pay 15 for 1. Actually, we'll do it at 14 bucks because we're gonna get pressed up. He gets paid 14 on a 6, and again for him, we're gonna go mid press. We'll just press the 6 by 1, like so, and he'll rack money. This guy here now is on the press and collect method. We'll do a single unit press. We'll do mid presses here on these from this point forward. Once you got set up with a little bit of profit, now you're gonna do a mid press. And again, the selling point to this is mid pressing or single pressing or whatever it is on a longer roll. The selling point to this is house edge. The selling point to this right here is let me pick my number and get the hell out when it rolls. Dice off the table. Here we go. There's your 7. So this guy avoids disaster. This guy avoids disaster. Essentially, he walks out of there with whatever that was. He went out with 54. He brought 68 back, and he won 18 bucks. So he took all those hits and won $18 out of all those hits, right? And that's where the person who does this every single time is calling this person a motorhead because same amount of exposure, brought back 18 bucks. Same amount of exposure, he's brought back 140 in the same rolls. In the same rolls, he won 140, lost the 70 that time, or the 40 that time. In the same rolls here, $18. Same rolls here. This guy here has gotten his butt kicked. Let's come back out again. And again, we're gonna rock this. He's gonna work it all the time. This guy's working. He's a working man down there. Here we go, coming out. 6, 3, 9. New point's gonna be a 9. So again, we'll go 40 bucks in odds for that player there. Person up top is going to go to 54. We'll do it with reds here. We'll do 54 again. We'll just not grab the 10 this time. We'll pick everything but the 10 this time. There's his 54. Okay, he's set. Looking for 3 hits and down. This guy's looking for a 6. That guy's looking for a 9. Let's get it done. There's a 3, 2, 5. I am rolling some 5s this morning. That'll pay, let's do 15. We'll do 15 for 1. And we're gonna drop $2 to press up our 6 and press up our 8. Again, we're going to press from the inside out here in the back. That's hit number 1 for him. Here we go. There's a 639. So again, the pass line guy today, I'm his best friend. Pass line player's best friend today. It's going to pay again 60 in the back for 40, 10 in the front. Here we're going to get paid again 15 for a buck on that 9. We're going to press the 9 and the 5. I'll give the 520 and the 915. That's totally fine. And this guy here gets nothing out of that deal at all. Let's bring all this back. This guy here is crushing souls today. Doing such a good job on the pass line. And you know I've had just as many days where I'm rolling nothing but 7s, where I would be taking this guy 70 bucks, right? Rhythm game. Craps is such a rhythm game. Here we go. Coming out for a new point. Another 9. Right back on it. 639 again. Okay, so he's going to go with 40 bucks. No changes up here. Again, we're looking for a 6. I've had no luck today with the 6s and the 8s. This poor guy here is just getting everything hit around him. This person here is looking for another hit. If we can do it. There's a 1, 2, 3, ace, deuce, no help. There's a 6, 2, 8, 6, 2, 8. Easy. It's going to pay 21. Again, we're going to grab the 10 for 15 and put 1 on top of the 4. He's pressed up all the way across now. His next hit is a come down hit. Okay. Nobody else gets any money. Here we go. That was a big roller. That's a 415. 415. That's going to pay 28 bucks. And again, this player comes down to 64 across. 1, 2. Okay, so what is he bringing back to his rack? Let's count him up. He started out with 54. There's 25. There's 50. There's 60 and 5 whites. So he's got 70 bucks coming home. And again, he's looking at about a $15 actual profit here after all that work. But his rack is clean, right? His rack is clean. He's basically got a little bit of profit out of it. This guy here is still waiting. This guy over here is hopefully getting that point, getting rehit. Again, let's see what happens. 5, 3, 8. The 8's going to get paid. I got too many. No, I don't. I'm good. The 8's going to get paid 14 bucks. Right, we're going to go ahead and press it up by 1 unit. Half press. Bring that back to the rack. In his rack, by the way, this player here is even in the rack after all that work, right? And again, you got to remember this. After all this work, we've taken all those hits. We came down. He started out with 500. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 475. With what's out here, he's even after all that work. This guy over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. That's profit. So this player here is already in profit because we're doing so good with the rolls. This guy here, getting his ass handed to him. 3, 2, 5, 3, 2, 5. Now here we are on the long roll. What you're looking for is that long roll. 15 for 1 out of the rack. We'll get a single unit press there. Come back to the rack. 5, 4, 9. So we did it again, right? This guy here, let's get paid here first. We'll do 15 for 1. From him. Press it by 1. Rack 10. He's even. Our pass line player. And his best friend. There's 70 more bucks coming back to him. So again, he's just going to rack profit here all day long. He's in the profit like nobody's business down there. He's got at least 100 plus all the reds that he's got. So he's doing, actually I'm gonna take these reds from him and get my bank filled back up again. 2, 3, there's 400 in reds. Or I'm sorry, 4 quarters in reds. So yeah, our pass line player today, doing great. 200 bucks in profit back there on my rolls. This guy here is just barely in profit, right? There's 400, there's 500 bucks essentially. He's got $54 in profit after all that rolling and playing it smart, right? We're spreading out, we're pressing up halfway as we go. He's got about 50 bucks in profit. This guy here with the 6, you know, not his day. Definitely not his day. He's still working to come out. He's still hoping for hope. Let's see what happens. There's a 516 on the come out. Finally, he gets it. He gets hit 70 bucks here on the way out the door, which is great. And he's done. That's it for him, for that shooter. He's out. Going back to his rack. He's going to watch until the next point gets established. Our player in the front, we're going to play his odds out of his profit side. No need to dip into his rack. 50 bucks max odds. So he already got paid on the 6. With a $60 bet, he got a 70. This guy here now needs the 6 to repeat for the same thing to happen. This guy here, following the puck, is just not coming on. There's a 4-1-5. I hope you can see the dice rolling. There's a 4-1, 4-1-5, so no help. The pass line player, the 6 and 8 guys out. 15 pays 21. We're going to half press it. We'll take 2 of those and come back here and make that be a quarter. And back to the rack he goes. And again, now he can actually start building up the profit half of his rack. Finally, he's got profit in his rack. This is starting bankroll. He's got $14 in profit in his rack plus what's out here. So there's the elephant graveyard waiting for the 7 to send him back to 0. Okay. Hard 4. That's great. That's going to pay 18 bucks. Half press it up. We can give it 10. Okay. And the question is, when do you stop? If you're this guy here, when do you stop? You figure, well, shit, I'm in profit. It's all profit play. It's all profit play. Everything I do here is going for the ceiling. That's what this guy's mindset is. This is the mindset of the across bettors. We're going for the long roll that this guy can't capitalize on. This guy cannot capitalize on a long roll. He capitalizes on one roll, right? So the advantage or the argument for this player here is I can win more on a long roll than you can. Well, this guy here has won 5 times. This guy here has won essentially nothing. He's taken all those hits and has nothing to show for it. So remember, when Greg talks about the elephant graveyard, when the pass line with odds guys talk about the difference here, again, this doesn't give you more winnability. It's only one target. If you're hot like we are today, we're hitting our target. Every time that target hits, it's 70 bucks in the back and it's 10 bucks in the front. He's just counting, this guy back here just counting chips, man. He's just bringing them in because the shooter is in rhythm with him today. This person here just gets paid as 14 for the first hit on the 6, right? Hope do a single unit press and bring a little bit more back to the house. Okay, let's get some of these whites out of here. We'll take 10 of them away. Okay, he's got about 30 bucks in his rack plus whatever's out here. Now our other player can come back and play. He's going to come back out again, 60 bucks. Maybe he'll switch to the 8 now. He's got the 6 has hit a few times. You know, do you want to stay with what's rolling or do you want to go with what's due? I don't know. Let's move him to the 8. We'll see what happens here. Come out. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. This guy here, completely off rhythm. Completely off the rhythm. We'll give 10 of his bucks down there to the guy on the pass line. Back he goes. Back he goes. I think the lesson learned here today, if nothing else, if you're going to do this, don't bet the come out. Don't be on. Don't be on the come out. Right? That's the lesson. Point's going to be 5. We'll come out here with 40 bucks. And I say this all the time, right? The dice don't know it's a come out roll. This is still 5 ways to win that bet. It's still a decent bet. Okay. Did I take his money? Yeah, I did. All right. Point's going to be 5. Here we go. 8. So here we are, 21. I'm going to drop a buck. We're going to press by 12, which makes it 30. He's pressed up. Now, what I typically do, when I'm slow rolling it like this, when I'm doing half pressing, I'd like to get myself to 160 across and then be done. We're going to try and get into 160 across and be finished if we can do it. That'll be our goal there. 6-5 yo. 6-5 yo. There's a hard 8, pays 35. Okay. Now, again, we could be targeting this, right? I'll press the 9 up to a quarter, and I can bring a quarter back, or I can take this quarter, get nickels for it, and say, you know what? Let's get my 4 to a quarter. Let's get my 10 to a quarter. And I'm at 160 across with a nickel change. So he's worked his way, well, except for the 6. He has one more hit away from being 160 across and able to pull himself back, which is what we're going to do. 617 does not happen. And there it is. You work all that way. You did all this work to get to a goal, right? He did show profit, but look what he's got to show for that. All that work. 25, 45 bucks in the rack. The elephant graveyard, right? He did a lot of work to put himself in position to have a nice $160 score, nothing to show for it in the end. Just a pittance down here in the end. Of course, this guy gets whacked too, right? But look at the difference in the racks. Our 6 and 8 player got hammered. I'll bet you though, if we didn't work the come out roll, because he lost, every time he lost was on the come out roll, except for this last time here, he would probably be in profit if we didn't do that. Again, just putting it out there. Probably misplayed that today, but I wanted to get a sense of keeping yourself rolling all the time versus this guy here, right? I wanted to see if the house edge and the winnability of those bets would make a difference today. The big winner today was the pass line player, right? He actually benefited from me hot rolling today. I think if somebody has the roll tracker going, I think I did a pretty good job at rolling there. These guys earned good money on the pass line. And it's funny how a pass line happy table like that, let me go back to the camera here. Let's go back to here. A pass line happy table like we had today did not result in enormous wins for the guy in the box, right? Isn't that interesting? The player playing the box, playing a normal little inside out press and then a half press from there, pretty good rolling today, did not make any money, which is, you know, a function of when do you pull your money back, number one. I said it earlier, you could just take a hit and come down every single time, and he would have probably been okay picking up those nickels. He probably would have made $100 or more picking up nickels the entire way through. But by trying to press, and get himself up to a position to score, he ends up making nothing. And how often has that been your experience at the table? We talk about that a lot. Having a goal, getting out when you should be getting out. I think that last roll where he got up to about 160, between the 7 out, the last 7 out, and that one had to be 9 or 10 rolls. And we got him up to a good point, but boy, we didn't sure get anything out of that, right? So there it is. There's an interesting little look, I think, at a thing. And so Skill, you're saying, I'm holding back the play 6 player. You're exactly right. And let's talk about why I did that. I didn't want to play the play 6 better like I would play the play 6 better. What I said was the pass line player is playing one number per shooter, right? He puts the pass line bet out, gets his odds, the dice decide what the number is, and he bets the number. That's it. The play 6 guy, I said, I'm going to play him with the same exposure, one number per shooter, period. That's it. I'm not going to spread him out. I'm not going to press him up. We're going to see, can I just pick my number versus letting the dice pick my number? That was the entire part of that test. I hope that made sense, Skill. If you can, cancel. If you can write me back, let me know that I explained that well enough, why I did what I did with him. I did not want to play him any more aggressively or non-aggressively. I just wanted to have him always working. The other guy's always working. One hit. Just one hit. I'm just trying to give those two are like my controls. If that makes sense. Like they're both the same amount of money, and that's it. So there it is. Skill obviously has something to say because he's telling me to read my P's and Q's. Let's see. No. See, this is where I say you're wrong. I'm not doing this. And again, I just explained why. Right? The test here, the $60 6 person and the pass line with max odds person are the controls. They're both betting the same amount, one number per shooter. That's it. You're picking your number or the dice pick your number. That's the only test there. Because I wanted to give a house edge look at those two things. It's not about playing the 6 smartly. It's about what happens if it's one shot per. Because the folks who play the pass line with odds tell me all the time, it's only one number, but it's a home run every time it hits, right? I recover my losses faster. Well, can picking the 6 by itself do the same work? Can it recover its losses faster? That's what I'm trying to test on. So you're right. I would not normally play it that way. I would probably regress down. I'd probably take a $70 win on the 6 and go to a $30 6 and 8 or something like that. You're right. But again, not what I was testing today. Today's test was something totally different. I hope that makes good sense. Let me check out any questions if there are other questions in there too. So you're just saying, tell me to read it. So not trying to be rude, Skill, but that's what I was trying to do. That point of it was to be the what do you call it? The counterweight, I suppose, to the pass line bet. Just pick my number versus let the dice pick. Both players going for a 1 number home run, period. That's it. The person in the back was actually the person that we're kind of playing craps with and trying to do some different things. So hopefully that clears up what I was trying to say there. I'm going to go back to the comments here and see if you can write back and let me know. Cool. Let's see. Mid-Mayo, do I play the pass line myself when I roll? I do. I play the pass on myself early on. What I do is I play the don't. When I first walk up to a table and I don't know how I'm throwing, I'm on the don't, I'm playing the horseman. I just don't know what I've got that day. If I knock myself off, I go back to the pass line. Normally I play the pass line because when I throw, I didn't do it every time this past weekend, I'll normally play the ATS. And if you come out 7, the pass line pays for the ATS. That's the only reason why I would do it. I don't love the pass line normally. When I'm playing that style of play, I prefer a come bet with max odds over the pass line with max odds. I like to get past roll 1 and then jump in and get those odds versus the outcoming pass line or the main point come out roll. So hope that makes good sense there. Let's see. Going through what else we see here. Lonnie says the number of bets determines how many hits you need before, right? Totally. And again, it's also how you play them, right? The number of bets you got out there determines how many you need. And again, if you aggressively press, which I did in the beginning, right? We took 100% of the profits and pressed them in there, 100% pressed them in, 100% pressed them in, pulled back a profit. So 3 rolls, I'm in tiny profit. And now we're starting anew, trying to get that home run. Just didn't work today. Bad rhythm. I tell you all the time, rhythm. Out of rhythm today. The 6 and 8 guy was certainly out of rhythm today. The pass line guy was totally in just sprint rhythm. That was beautiful. I hit every single point. I think I 7 out once out of like 5 or 6 shooters today. So again, would have been a hard day to be on the DC for sure. So let's see. What else do we want to talk through? Anything else? Anything else on your minds? Guessing not. It's 9 o'clock. Oh, 9 o'clock. Got to go to work. Cool. Thanks for being here Monday morning. I might do this again tomorrow. I think one session does not a point make. So we should do this again over a couple of days and to get a more sense of rhythm. I think it's kind of fun to do that sort of a thing. And maybe I'll try it without having that person work to come out. I think it's an unfair test, honestly, if I don't have, and I'll take your comments here. I think it's an unfair test if the 6 player doesn't work the come out because the pass line player is working the come out. And the whole point was the come out 7s build up a little bit of stock for the pass line player, but the come out 6s where you get paid as the point gets set offsets that for the other guy. He did get a come out 6 winner, which I will guarantee you is as many times as we lost on the come out. He got $70 on the come out 6 being set. We probably lost on 5 or 6 come out 7. So he's about even on the come out. If you think of it that way, it looked like I was getting my ass kicked. It's true. The number though offsets the pass line guy. Again, I'm going to run it again tomorrow. We'll see how it looks. I'm not ready to make a decision here. I just wanted to see over a couple sessions how it looks. So anyway, that's it. Have a good Monday, y'all. Back to work we go. I may roll out again tonight a little live thing. I may try some more ideas live just for fun of it, but Think about this. Think about what you saw today, how you would have played the box differently on that one roll. And again, given the amount of points that I hit, could you have done different with the same level of buy-in? Curious about that. So we will go out here tomorrow and do the same thing and keep rolling it out. So that's it all. Have a great day. Have a good Monday. I'll see you tomorrow. That's it. Have a great one. God bless everybody. Bye.